Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading. This was just a bunch of cards that just flew out here, so not a pop out, but welcome to your reading for the week of May 22nd. We're just going to jump right in here, Scorpio, and in your current general energies, you have this card that says Balsamic Moon, a time for healing. So clearly, I kind of feel like really this is more talking about a healing that you've already gone through, though, because the thing I will say is that you have the 9 of Wands. He has those 8 wands behind him, and then he's got this 1 wand that he's leaning on in front of him. So it kind of looks to me like you've gone through a healing maybe over the last few years or so, and it's like now you're just ready to kind of take your next steps in life. This could be to move towards this right here. This is your truth with the 7 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. The 7 of Cups is kind of like your truth because, it can represent looking at something that you want to create. And, I always say the 7 of Cups kind of represents seeing the good things, seeing the bad things that could happen. If you are working on something, it's like if you want to start a business or if you want to change your life in some way, it's like you could be thinking about all the what ifs. And, I feel for a lot of you, it's kind of saying, it's time for you to kind of like stop thinking about the what ifs, and it's time for you to take the risk. Because, if you're thinking about like starting a business, but you're thinking about all the what ifs and you don't get started, then you're never going to get started. And so it's kind of like saying, it's time to get started is where I'm going with this. You have the High Priestess, the 9 of Wands, and the 2 of Swords in this first row. Again, when I have a reading that has the 2 of Swords and the 7 of Cups, it gives me the vibes of like, needing to find out. I always say it's like, the 7 of Cups to me is a card of needing to find out. Sometimes with the 7 of Cups, we can just not get started on something like a business or relationship, whatever it is you want, doesn't matter. 7 of Cups is like all the thoughts, and it prevents us from starting. Sometimes we don't start so that we don't have to have a failure, but really, if you don't start, you did fail. So, it's like some of us, I think and again, not a criticism at all, Scorpio, but it's like sometimes we just don't get started on something because we're like, oh, if I don't get into this relationship, then there won't be a breakup. But it's like, really, you're just preventing yourself from having an experience. Life is all about experiences. So people always leave me these, sob stories about their breakups in my comments. I'm like, I don't care, get over yourself, right? It's like, we've all been through it. It's like, people act like it's like like no one else goes through heartbreak, and it's like I'm not trying to be cold here, although I have ice running through my veins, Aquarius rising, right? But what I would say here is that it's like we have to get over it, right? And trust me, I've been through plenty of breakups that have hurt, definitely, because I'm a Pisces. I'm just a lover boy, right? And I love every single person that I get with, and I take it way too seriously. But what I would say here is that it's like sometimes we just have to say like, okay, yeah, it hurts, but it's an experience, and life is all about having experiences. So I will never stop myself from having experiences. People who do that shrink, and you don't want to shrink. The 2 of Swords is about having a new experience. There's this new island behind her, and basically this card says you need to get to that new island. You need to open up with the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands can be a card of experimentation. And again, you never know what you might find. And again, I know it's hard when you have a story where it's like maybe you've been hurt a bunch of times in a relationship, or maybe you've had a bunch of business failures in a row. I've been there, and it's really hard to get started. But I feel like the 9 of Wands kind of says if you don't give up, then you haven't failed. You only fail when you give up. So I kind of feel like this is saying like keep pushing. I also feel you need to work on your visualization skills. She has these 3 stages of the moon on her crown there, on the High Priestess. And it kind of represents the fact that she sees the beginning, middle, and end of all situations before they happen, meaning she doesn't see them intuitively. She is imagining. She's using her skills of visualization to imagine how she wants things to go. So, it's a card of visualizing and kind of like using those skills to be more successful. And so I would tap into your, abilities of visualization or imagination, right? So start imagining things going well, not the other direction, right? Sorry, that deck was upside down. So let's fix that. With the High Priestess, you have the Star. Yes, the Star is about having a North Star. When you have a North Star and you work towards like one goal, wish, or dream, and you kind of like make it happen, then you will be successful. The Star is also about believing that something is possible. Normally, she is pouring water from the pool of universal consciousness like onto the land. And, it basically represents what's possible for one person is possible for you. So if there's something that you want, no matter how impossible it seems, if someone has done it, you can do it. So, it kind of is just, I feel like it's giving you hope, that Star card. With the 9 of Wands, you have the Hierophant. This could be marriage. Some of you could be going through a divorce because you have this adjudication card with this thief card. Again, these cards are, to me, the Kipper is a little bit dramatic, right? I like the Kipper, but, it's like not everyone is trying to steal from you. Not everyone is trying to do something here. But again, you could feel that someone is trying to steal something from you, especially in like a divorce situation. But it looks to me like there could be justice almost coming in a situation like that. Could also be that there is just a commitment and a need to commit. And I'm not even talking about love here, right? With the Hierophant, he kind of represents initiation. He normally has 3 stages to his crown, which represent like initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery. But it's like sometimes we have to fully commit to something. The star represents, she's normally dipping her toes in the water. She needs to just jump right into that pool and kind of like make something happen. And I feel that here, especially here. It's like once you commit to the 7 of Cups, which we're going to talk about in a second, you will be successful. But if you just stand there and are just like, oh my God, like all these things could happen, then nothing's going to happen, right? With the 2 of Swords, you have the 9 of Wands. Yes, it's definitely time for you to kind of, I wouldn't say take a risk, but I would say it's time for you to like move to that new island. It's time for you to, keep pushing forward here. So that's where we're at, Scorpio. Next, we're going to look at what you need to know right now. You have this dream catcher. It says, pay attention to the signs, messages, and guidance that come to you at night. Yes, your dreams could be on point. You have this unfolding beauty card. It says, everything is unfolding as it should. Surrender and live in the unexpected. Yes, I feel like you need to surrender and not try to control situations too much here with this reading. I don't really get like too much control, but I do get a little bit of control trying to know that something is going to work before you get into it, right? 7 of Cups. Again, sometimes with the 7 of Cups, I feel like we can be like, oh, I need more proof that this is going to work before I enter into the situation, whatever it is, work, love, business, or otherwise. But that's not how life works. You have to go on the journey. You have to have the experience. And, I feel like this is saying something really amazing is coming in for you, but you have to believe that you deserve something amazing. You have the 7 of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Hermit, and the Ace of Cups. You have the Star and the Hermit right here. The Hermit has the Star inside his lantern right here. So it's like you need to let something out. I feel like you need to reveal something or, open up. This could be like lessons that you've learned. The Hermit has climbed to the top of a mountain. He's been through something very difficult, but now I always say it's time for him to like blast his star out all over the place. So it's time for you to shine your light is what this is saying to me. I feel like your light could be whatever this is right here, 7 of Cups. Again, good things, bad things. 7 of Cups just says pick a cup and make it happen. You literally have 2 aces in this row. You have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups would be that one cup that you are making happen, right? And whatever this is going to change your life. And so I feel like there's like a victory coming in for you, obviously, with the Ace of Swords and probably a very balanced situation as well. You have the Ace of Cups, which is your emotions overflowing, being very happy. Again, there is a little bit of risk here. 5 of Swords is my card of taking a risk in the tarot. But like we go this way to the Wheel of Fortune, this way to the 3 of Wands. Like to me, this is saying if you take some sort of risk, you are definitely going to be successful. There's going to be growth, expansion, whatever you want. And this could be a risk in any area of your life. Like clearly, this is something that you feel is a risk, whatever it is, right? Let's see. With the 7 of Cups here and that Ace of Swords, you have the 2 of Swords. We already talked about this. Needing, how crazy is it that at the beginning of the reading, I said the 2 of Swords was connected to the 7 of Cups. Like, there you go. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. With the Hermit, you have the 2 of Cups. So definitely could be love coming in for you. Could be an Aquarius. You have like everything here. Taurus, Aquarius, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo, so basically everything. It could be any sign, but I feel like there is like a perfect match coming in for you here. You might have your eye on a person already, it could be a person you work with, or, I also have a weird message. Like if you have recently moved, maybe you just moved somewhere like over the past few months, it could just be a person that you see in the new area that you moved to. I don't know, it's popping into my head. So that obviously is only going to be for some of you, but again, 2 of Cups, perfect match. And again, if you don't want love, this could also be just, 2 of Cups is you and your higher self. It's like something that your higher self is trying to guide you towards. And clearly on this card, you have this card that says, pay attention to the signs, messages, and guidance. So I feel like your higher self is trying to guide you here. With the Ace of Cups, you have the 6 of Pentacles. Here you go. If you are afraid, this is your answer. Like if you're afraid to be in a relationship, 6 of Pentacles says, I always say it's like a tennis match. You hit the ball to their side, do they return the favor? Do they hit the ball to your side? It's like equal give and take, right? And nothing is ever truly like 100% equal, but like for the most part, if you are scared to date a person that you're interested in, go on a date, see what happens, put a little energy in. Do they give the energy back? If the answer is yes, then keep going. If the answer is no, then something has to change. And I always say that people aren't mind readers, so you might get in a relationship and maybe eventually the person doesn't hit the ball back, but open your mouth, right? Say something. Say like, hey, you haven't been XYZ. Why? You know, maybe they will be like, oh, I didn't realize that was important to you, right? So it's like we have to open our mouths in, you know, especially in modern day relationships where everybody's got their face buried in Instagram or whatever the hell you kids do nowadays, right? So, you know, again, I feel like this is about equal give and take. Equal, meaning you also have to do something as well. Same thing in business. You know, it's like Six of Pentacles in business to me is about trying a couple things. Like maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, for example. It's like try, 6 different videos, whatever type of video works, double down on that, right? We have to pay attention to what works and then keep going in that direction. We also have to pay attention here with the Ace of Cups to what causes your emotions to overflow. It kind of says like if you're entering into a love relationship and you have to do things that you don't want to do, or maybe the person is annoying, right? Then it says leave. Don't try to force something to work either. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this Thief card and this Judication card. So again, I do feel some of you could be dealing with a divorce or a separation. I actually really don't feel there's anything unexpected here because, again, I feel if this is for you, I feel maybe you're already dealing with a situation like this. For others, I feel that this is just saying that you could be getting some karma for some burdens that you've dealt with. We see that right here. You have the Ten of Wands. And you have the Five of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. It's almost like you are at the end of a long journey. Again, he's about to reach his home in the background here. This is a harvest. He has planted those wands in a field so that he can have a harvest. And now he's about to get back to his home. He's about to have a harvest. So, I kind of feel there's just a harvest coming in for you. You have the Five of Swords, which again, I feel saying like it's time for you to take the risk. This guy at the front is trying to win at all costs. But with the Seven of Cups here, it's like sometimes I think we can, with the Five of Swords, like I don't consider Five of Swords to necessarily be bad or good. To me, it's one of those cards that can say maybe you're trying to make a situation too perfect, which is kind of what I'm getting here. It's like, he is, he's won the battle, but he's like trying to take those swords away so that those guys that he's beat can't like try to come after him, right? Or something like that. And it's almost like popping into my head that going this way, it's like if you're entering, sometimes, like I wish I had a good example, right? But it's like sometimes I think we get into relationships and, for example, just giving you an example here, and it's like we try to do things to like get ahead of making sure that it doesn't end. It's like, so maybe we change our behavior, or maybe if the person tries to argue with us, we try to not have an argument, right? And we don't stick up for ourselves. But it's like when we do that, we are creating a failure in the first place, because we're basically saying we're putting out the energy that we're trying to avoid a failure that might not never happen, right? So I feel like this is saying like don't try to create perfect situations. That's what's popping into my head here, Scorpio. It's like if this could be in work, in business, it could be in love, whatever. But it's like if you're trying to get ahead of a failure that hasn't even happened yet, then I feel like you're kind of like preventing success in the first place. So I hope that makes sense what I just said. You have the Seven of Pentacles here. Seven of Pentacles, change in direction, says, is the juice worth the squeeze? So I feel like I kind of get this feeling that, again, I don't think there's anything unexpected here, but I just feel that you have to make a change at this time in your life. For some of you, this could be a move, by the way. You have that Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is like, if you're living somewhere where you can't expand, then some of you could be moving. This might not be a move. Maybe you're like changing your jobs. That is a move. Maybe you're asking for a raise or promotion in the job that you're in right now. That is a move, right? You are moving up. So, sometimes like people say things to me, I'm like, tarot isn't like, shouldn't be taken literally. It's like, how can you take the word move and apply it to other situations, right? So, there you go. That's just a few examples. But with the Ten of Wands, you have the Lovers. Yes. See, there's clearly love coming in for you if you want it. You might see love as a burden, but, I feel there could be a person, you have the Lovers twice. There could be a person who's actually very expansive, who kind of really changes things, maybe changes your opinion on love, like could be a really good person. Here you go, with the Five of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups. So after like a difficult period of time, there could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you in love. I feel like it'd be like very fulfilling, happy, just a good situation in general. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Four of Wands. Could lead to marriage. This could be a Cancer, by the way. I think you showed up in Cancer's reading. It could be any sign, but, it's definitely standing out to me. Going this way, this is like a wish or a dream come true, but you have to open up with that Hermit card is what I would say. Four of Wands, marriage. If you don't want to be married, or if you're already married, Four of Wands, and even if you want love, again, Four of Wands is a card of freedom. And so, again, I feel that if you're trying to make situations perfect before you get into them, like business or in work or whatever, right? Like I gave you those examples. The Four of Wands is like saying you need to set yourself free from that because that will lead to more freedom. At the end here, we're going to look at the good stuff, and you have this evil eye card. It says there are several ways to protect yourself from the evil eye. You can burn a candle, make an herbal bath, or wear an amulet for protection. I feel like you are protecting yourself. You could have had some sort of weird evil eye situation. You have this mental health card. It says mental health is a journey that is different for everyone, and there is no one size fits all. Be kind to yourself, keep your goals in sight, and seek help if needed. So there you go. But again, this is showing up in the good stuff. So, I feel like these things could be improving for you in your life. You have the Three of Wands, the Lovers, and the Wheel of Fortune. Three of Wands, card of expansion. And again, I love that the Three of Wands is coming up in the good stuff. To me, you could say that, your ships are coming in. There's some sort of benefit or something successful coming in for you at this time. And it's probably going to make you very happy. So, I feel like there's a lot of success coming in with this card. You have the Lovers here, so clearly could be love. And there's something about like a move here. So again, if you moved or if you are moving, that could be the thing that brings love into your life. It could also be someone moving to where you are. It could be a new person at work. It could be a person who just moves next door or something like that. I don't know. I keep getting this move thing. It could also be long distance as well, but that's not really what I'm getting. Like intuitively, it could be, obviously you're all different. This is, general reading, take it how it resonates, but it's popping into my head. I also feel if you don't want love, Lovers twice is like being at a crossroads. Again, too much overthinking in this reading with that Seven of Cups. So I definitely feel it. And, I feel like the new path is the right path for you. You have the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like your fortunes are changing at this time. It's like clearly things are turning around for you. I actually think this is, even though it seems like a challenging reading, I don't think it is at all. You have some really good cards here. Star, Two of Cups, Lovers. Again, even if you don't want love, doesn't matter. These are all cards of like matching up with your higher self and, kind of answering the call of your higher self, which it seems to me you could be doing. So it's like you're living more in alignment. And when we do that with the Wheel of Fortune, then we can get like good, that's when good things come in for us. So, I kind of see that here. Let's see. With the Three of Wands, you have the World. Everything I've been saying about traveling, moving, all that other stuff. I knew that Three of Wands was talking about that. The World is also an accomplishment, so I do feel you could be accomplishing quite a bit. I also have something popping into my head about your accomplishments catching up. It's like if you have been working really hard or trying to grow your business or whatever, it's like all of a sudden I feel things are starting to catch up. Things are starting to, it's like almost like you're building momentum, in a certain way. So if you've been like working on something and trying to build it up, it's like finally things are catching up. I don't know. That's what's popping into my head. With the Lovers, you have the Chariot. I'm telling you right now, if you're thinking about moving, this is a confirmation. Like maybe, and this is not going to be for all of you. People always ask me, like, you said I have to move, but I don't want to move. Don't move. That part of the message is not for you, right? Tarot should not control your life. This is just loose guidance at best. But if you want to move, or if you're thinking, should I move? This, or like maybe you're just kind of, dabbling, thinking about the idea of moving, this could say it would be really good for you to move. Again, like I said, I don't think tarot should tell you what to do. I don't think tarot should say, oh, you have to do this or that. But if you're thinking about it already, this would just be kind of like a little bit of confirmation if it wants to focus, that it would be a good idea. The Chariot is also a victory, and again, it does suggest travel and love. I knew I felt that with that Lovers card, so, it could be like something long distance, or, like I said, I get that moving thing, whatever, so there you go. I would also say that if you're thinking about picking a new path, again, normally the Chariot driver is leaving the city behind him behind. The Lovers is traditionally a crossroads, like having a choice to make, right? Being at a crossroads. This to me would say like picking the new path, or picking the new direction in your life. Maybe you want to start a new business, or maybe you're looking for a new job or something like that. This would be really a victory for you is what this is saying. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Love it. I feel like your finances are improving, and this could be making your life a lot easier. Like if you want to move, but you don't have the money, you could be getting the money, and that could be making your life easier. If you want to start a business, again, you could be finding the resources to be able to do that, and clearly, it's going to lead to a lot of success for you. So, Scorpio, I like this. I like where this is going. Definitely some really good stuff coming in for you here, but. We're going to pull 5-8 themes, and we're going to see where this is going. You have this, what does it say? Malady card. I would be careful of, like, getting stuck in a healing here. Again, like I said, tarot shouldn't tell you what to do, but, since I'm in the spiritual community, I have a lot of spiritual friends, and some of them, it's like they're just stuck in healing. And again, no judgments here. But, they constantly go to healing retreats and things like that. And it's like, eventually, you have to have healed. It can become an addiction, going to these, like, healing retreats and constantly healing. It's like, eventually, the healing needs to happen. It's just like therapy. My mom is a psychologist, right? She was a therapist for years. And it's like, eventually, a person should get to a point where they, like, don't need necessarily a psychologist all the time. I'm not saying that you shouldn't keep going to one, but it's like eventually you need to get to that point where you can kind of where you develop the skills to heal yourself, or you develop the skills to do whatever you need to do, right? And that's the whole point. It shouldn't be this like long, drawn out, like 20-year process where you're constantly working through things. To me, that says there's a bigger issue. So, definitely something to think about here. Again, not telling you what to do. I am not a psychologist. I have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm just some guy on the internet. So you know nothing about me. So you should not listen to me. But the point is, again, eventually something has to happen here, right? You have this doctor card. If you are feeling sick, obviously go to a doctor, right? I am not a doctor, and so do not take this as medical advice. But what I would say is, obviously, if there's something that needs to be healed, go to a doctor. Sometimes with the cards like this, like the doctor, it could be some other issue as well. Like maybe there's a problem with your car. I feel like it's saying take it to a mechanic. Sometimes when I get something like this, I feel that there could be something going on in your life that's like small right now, but if you don't take care of it, it's going to turn into something big. It's like, I'm sure you've all heard stories about people who like have a problem with a car, they let it go too long, and then it ends up, totaling the car, or they, have to spend way more money than they would have in the first place if they just got it taken care of. So I kind of have the feeling that these two cards are saying, don't create monsters in your life. It's like when we ignore something in life, that's when we create a monster. It's like I was listening to someone the other day, and they, and I've said this before in readings. They basically said something about like, what if you can't pay your rent, for example? Like, wouldn't it be better to be honest and tell your landlord, hey, I can't pay my rent? Maybe they're willing to work with you. Maybe they're not, but like maybe they are. So it's like a lot of people, they hide from their issues, but it's like if you don't hide from your issue, there might be some way to kind of like get out of it or to get help. And I kind of feel that here. I'm not saying it's rent. I'm just giving you an example here. Yeah, you have this sorrow card. Again, like I said, definitely take time to heal. If you are at the beginning of your healing journey or something like that, some of you definitely could have experienced some sort of loss. For others, I feel like a past loss is just taking up too much brain space in general. You have this wife card. For some of you, if you're looking for love, again, 4 wands, you could be attracting a wife. You could be the wife. Take it how it resonates, but definitely love coming in for you. And finally, you have this house. Here you go. Moving, traveling. The house also represents like security, comfort, protection. So for some of you, there could be something like that is bringing security into your life. Pretty interesting reading here, Scorpio. That's all. I'll leave it at interesting. I do feel like you have the opportunity to change your fortunes here with that Wheel of Fortune as well. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.